Dear children, I welcome you all for today's class. Let us continue with the story A Gift of Chappals. In the last video, we have seen Mridu and Tapi visiting to Rukumani, and then Ravi and Meena taking Mridu to backyard of the house immediately and then showing the Mridu the kitten Mahendran. In short, we can say MP Pune. And then Ravi told to Mridu a lot of things about kitten in the garden. He told that kitten had descended from lion, and lion was the emblem of Pallava kings. And again he told Mridu that the kitten had descended from Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, which was cat goddess. To your children, today in this video we shall talk about Lali and music master. Here Lali tries her best to learn violin. Let's see whether Lali learns to play violin or she does not learn. Let us see what happens ahead.
Page number 15. Mahendran looked up, alarmed. He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. But worse than Ravi's awful whoop, eek, was a creak from the window. What a wired sound! If Mridu was startled, MP Pune was frightened out of his wits. Hair standing on end, he bounced up and scurried towards a bamboo tray of red chilies that had been set out to dry. Trying to hide beneath it, he tipped a few chilies over himself. Meow! He howled miserably. The creaking went on and on. "What's that noise?" said Mridu.
Ravi had moved or waved a twig or a branch of a kitten, shouting loudly, MP Punai here, weep, eek. Listening this, the kitten looked up and was alarmed. Here, alarmed means kitten was scared. He got frightened. The kitten was sharpening his claws. But you know what the author says, that there was a worse noise that was more frightful than the sound of whoop eek of Ravi. What was that sound? A sort of creak noise came from window. That sound was wired sound. What is wired? Wired means strange or frightening sound. Mridu was startled hearing this strange noise coming from window. Here, startle means in Hindi we can say chauk jana. Slight fear. Hearing the creak noise, the kitten was more scared. As you know, it's a kitten. Out of fear, hair of kitten stood up, and so the kitten scurried towards a bamboo tray in which red chilies were kept for drying. What is scurried? It means to run quickly with a short steps. The kitten went beneath the bamboo tray to hide himself out of fear and cried loudly, meow, out of fear. And the creaking noise continued to come from the window. Listening this, small Mridu asked Ravi, "What is that noise?"
That's Lali learning to play the violin, grunted Ravi. She'll never learn a thing. Mridu crept up to the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring, her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the music master. He had an almost bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair fading around his ears and an old-fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold-bordered vesty edge, and he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe.
Ravi granted Mridu that Lali was learning to play violin. What is granted? It means to make short sound in throat to show anger. He was a bit angry and said, "Lali will never learn how to play violin." And then Mridu crept up to window. Here, crept means she went slowly, quietly and carefully. Now, why did Mridu go to the window quietly and peep? Here, peep means to look secretly. She went there to see Lali, how she was trying to learn music, that is violin. Here in this paragraph, firstly, author says how Lali was sitting and learning violin. Secondly, he describes about music master, how he looked and was playing violin beautifully. The sound was melodious to hear. So here Lali was sitting a little far away from music master and was holding the musical instrument, that is violin, not in a proper way. Lali's elbow was jutting out here. Jutting out means her hand was not in a proper way, proper place as it was supposed to be. Mridu concentrated on music master with glazed eyes. Here glazed means her eyes looked bored. Secondly, here the author describes about music master. He says that the music master's back was towards the window, as you can see the picture how he was sitting. He had bald head. Bald head means there was no hair in front of his head. He had oiled black hair, and Mridu could see hair which was around his ears were faded. Why was it faded? It was faded because he had dyed his grey hair. He had colored his grey hair. He had old-fashioned tuft What is tuft? Tuft means number of very thin hair. The music master had a gold chain that gleamed in the light. Here, gleamed means it shone in the light. Where was the gold chain shining? It was shining on his leathery neck. Here, leathery neck means as an old man, his skin was wrinkled. And so the chain was sinking on his neck. As the music master was playing the violin, his diamond ring glittered on his right hand, as you can see the picture. As it was gliding up and down, here glittered means shone and glided means moved smoothly. His large foot was out beneath the gold bordered vesti. Here vesti means dhoti in Tamil. As he was playing violin, what did he do to keep timing? He was beating his scrawny big toe in order to keep time on the floor. You have already seen about the meaning of scrawny.
He played a few notes. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. Mridu stared at that huge hand moving effortlessly up the violin's stem, making lovely music. Squawk! There was a Lali derailing again. Amma! Came a wail from the gate. Amma! Oh!
In playing the violin, there was a huge difference between Lali and music master. Music master played the violin beautifully. It was lovely to hear. Here, author compared the playing of violin with wheel of train that moves smoothly on the track. But Lali, on the other hand, did not play well. As she played it, it made loud and high sharp sound. It was odd to listen. Here, squawk means to make loud noise. Lali was derailing as she played it. What is derailing? Here, Lali was trying to learn violin from the music master, but it was useless. At this moment, a wail came from the gate. Amma! Amma! Oh! Here, a wail means to make loud cry out of pain or sad. Here, someone cried loudly, Amma! Amma! Oh! Let us see in the next video who was he who cried loudly and why. Let us see what happens next.